There's no doubt that a lot of young people felt neglected, including myself, during the COVID-19 pandemic. So this week we decided to provide ourselves with the space to have an open and honest conversation about our experiences during COVID-19 and to allow our voices to be heard. Here's some highlights from that conversation. What has the COVID-19 pandemic, what effect has it had on your mental health and well-being?
So it was kind of like up and down for me. At the start it was, terrible, and then it got better. So I think it's all about telling yourself, like, you kind of have to do it by yourself in that situation, because you're kind of alone, even though you might have siblings, or I don't know who has siblings and who doesn't, but you're kind of still alone in a way, because you're going through each situation by yourself as much as you think you have everyone else around you. So mine was, everywhere.
I was being unproductive because I didn't know what to do, and then I was like, okay, this is going to take a long time, we're not going to get out of lockdown. So I started to be more productive. I got closer to my friends from secondary because now they had more time, I could talk to them more, made me closer with them.
I genuinely think that for me, the lockdowns were the best thing that could have happened for my mental health. And I know that's kind of a weird thing to say because everyone's like, no, it was quite lonely in that. But within that, I didn't see it as being lonely. I saw it as a way to find myself again. And I've become a completely different person throughout the pandemic in general, just because I chose every day to wake up and work on something to become better.
And it was the first time that I know it sounds really weird, but I really got to know my mum and sister. So in that way, it was a positive thing on the mind because I got to know my family better, and I felt, I'll be honest, I felt very lonely for a period of time. But then getting to my family better, I was like, they're here all along. I just never truly appreciated them. And I think since the pandemic, I have appreciated them much more.
I just felt alone. And I was thinking, looking back, I always think what could have been done to help, and I still don't know. I don't know what would have made me feel better. That was then, but now I do know. And it's things like these conversations, because I know we started those Zoom calls back in lockdown and they really helped. And looking back at it, it was basically a lifeline for me.
And the sense of loss in COVID has been profound. How we deal with grief is how we've dealt with COVID. The way we play games is the way we play life. So it's a fractal. And what I found is, however you've dealt with COVID, I think is how you deal with grief. And so we've had a collective experience of kind of remembering how we deal with that.
I think that lots of us, at lots of times, have kind of been a bit tough on ourselves. We're coming through a really, really challenging piece of history. And as Bob said, we didn't stop, we kept on going. And none of you have completely stopped or lost it. You've carried on studying, you've got into university, you've got into the next bit of your college. Stuff is happening. You've managed to somehow navigate. So I'll take that with me. The fact that we are all much better than we allow ourselves to admit.
Because for so long, for example, I was born in 2003, and the whole time growing up you think, the world goes on, it never stops, it just keeps going, you can't put a dent in this thing. And now I look at it and I'm like, it's fragile, this whole thing is just ready to collapse unless we do something about it. But it feels better because I think now it's the time where these people have realised, we've been really stupid, the next generation can clear up our mess and we're going to clean it up.
Today's conversation has been quite interesting because I would say that I feel sort of unsettled, not in a bad way, but in a sense of, when words sort of hit you so deeply that you have this conflict within yourself where you say, wait, that's got to me because it's true, and then you have to sort of review those aspects of yourself and your beliefs and sort of dig deeper to understand, but I think it's very constructive.
I've been able to say certain things that I didn't really say before, my personal stuff, so it's kind of good for people to kind of open up about this, even if it's nothing that serious, it's still nice to, have
I'm taking other people's perspectives. You don't get to talk to people the way you get to talk to people in UMER, so you don't really get to hear people's idea and interact to them in the way that we do here. And more just realise about other people's perspectives on life, and how like one thing such as like the pandemic, for example, affected me in one way but affected different people different ways, and I never realised that before.
The conversation speaks for itself. Open, honest and authentic conversations is what we do here at UMER. I hope you took some value out of that and have been even more inspired to speak your truth. Thank you.